Today we stand at a crossroads, not just of politics but of conscience. The passing of our humble president, Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, is not only a moment of mourning, it is a moment of reckoning. Let this be a message to every future politician of Zambia. Power is not a crown. It is a responsibility. You are not above the people, you are born of them. You are raised by their trust, and you are judged by how you honor it. What we witnessed during President Lungu's health challenges must never happen again. No family should be dragged through courtrooms while grieving. No widow should plead for dignity. No orphan should wait for justice to bury their father. This is not the Zambia we were meant to be. Let us start over. Let us rebuild, not just our institutions, but our hearts. Let the death of President Lungu remind us that we are each other's keeper. That love is not weakness, it is our greatest strength. That the Bible commands us to care for the widow, the orphan, and the stranger. And that true leadership begins with compassion. We only have one Zambia. Let us raise her high, not with slogans, but with service. Let us show love, not just in words, but in action. Let us unite, not just in grief, but in purpose. To the Lungu family, we are with you. To every citizen, your pain matters. To every leader, your legacy begins now. One Zambia, one nation, one heart.
Amitapendwa ya vintu ifisume vyoza kula kuivukisha Kana depotimo Wimbo watemenwa katongi Awazunga watita katongi Nakula kuivukisha kateka Kaibukubuna kapona Neseko siove pamenso Yangu ama umebaya Iyaba, iyaba maume Iyaba maume Iyaba maume Kateka wabantu Twakulira, lelo twakulira Shikakukonke milimo shove Ale filamba Fiena minta pengo shile Eti kume moku londolo la vale Lilo wingi
Iseko wingi mwakwete Iseko wingi mwakwete Mwaya, mwaya Mwende wino tata wesu
Katushi muchi mwakege Wali bomba kale Lomba mwatuja tuleli laki
Penda
Obula bebyo watu wingi Ibisebo wapanyiri obwingi Okuchinjo lusago kumoneko busaka Mama Uzituwa basiyani Chagwa katuse
22nd October 2024, 2 days before Zambia celebrates its national independence. Independence from what? We seem to be still struck that we are not independent. Our economy is not independent. We seem to have not even be independent from political, civil, and civic rights that we're supposed to exercise as an independent state. Today, we've picked a deliberate topic, and that is the persecution of former leaders. It's in the context that this government has been accused of shrinking the democratic space. Now, these accusations have not been made by Emmanuel Mwamba. They've been made by various stakeholders, locally from the Church, Law Association of Zambia, and other civic groups have accused government of shrinking both the democratic and media space. For international organization, the United Nations Human Rights Commission, which even sent a special rapporteur to Zambia, the Human Rights, the Human Rights Council, then you have Amnesty International and other organizations that have stated that Zambia is on a perilous path. Remember, this is a country that was celebrating democracy just in 2021, that was celebrating that whose new leader, President Hakainde Hichilema, was being held across the world. Even Joe Biden that year in September at the United Nations mentioned the people of Zambia and the youths for causing and ushering in new change and by electing President Hakainde Hichilema. Since then, things have gone south down so quickly. President Hakainde Hichilema is now accused of extensive human rights abuses. Like I said, shrinking of democratic space, weaponization of the law to attempt to destroy democracy, attempt to destroy the opposition. And he has taken a particularly vengeful path against his previous political opponents. How did we get here? How did we get here is my question. Let's see if we can play some videos as I invite you to come and discuss this matter. I'll lay the foundation, then the lines will be open very, very quickly. And I hope that you've registered as a voter. I hope and pray that you've registered as a voter. The numbers are terrible in urban areas, Lusaka, Copperbelt. We know that government is engaged in some voter suppression, especially in areas where they are not popular. They want a low turnout. That's why ECZ has not even advertised extensively. There are no motor vehicles, doing all those on loudspeaker phones and megaphones. None has been deployed extensively to alert our citizens of the polling station and the exercise itself. The first phase has been done, and the numbers are appalling. They're targeting 3.5 million people, but only about 200,000 have registered. They don't want you to register. They don't want you to exercise your power. They want you to stay away from the process so that a few, where they've ramped up the numbers, for example, in Southern Province, should turn up and drown other numbers. So you have an obligation, a civic duty, a national duty to register as a voter.
Registration across the country from the 13th of October to the 11th of November 2025. If you are 18 years and above, a Zambian citizen and in possession of a Green National Registration Card, NRC, you qualify to register. If you registered in 2020 or during continuous registration of voters and you still have your voter's card, you don't need to register again. During this registration period, ECZ will be providing the following services: new registrations, replacement of lost, destroyed or or defaced voters' cards, transfers from one polling station to another, claims for omission on the register of voters, corrections of clerical errors, and removal of deceased voters. Registration centers will be open throughout the week from 8 hours to 17 hours. Register now. It's your right. It's your choice. This message is brought to you by the Electoral Commission of Zambia.
Kala my sister. Oh, kuchoma. Nomba kuchoma ati vale chita register no bushiku.
Yes.
He, nomba abantu kuchoma ku Southern Province bengi tabapwa.
Baambire amareji baambire nakubaiki. Nalilandire fivi mpabena Brezi. Napabena Queen Mpumi nalilandire fi. Gama munafe bakateka bayisa kono. Nishi lyashirya bale bonfye ndeki. Bale bonfye abantu bale ingira mumishi dipi. Dipi up to nanomba nifima voters of bale chita swap. And stop it both bale chita swap.
Nisha banta bale kufuaya.
Because nalikwata. So ndefo alimbinde yansende nangumairo. Every chitika swap.
Aho muka yesenda tukachita protect ama vote bakafingishira PSF. Tukachita protect kuingisha fira koma nawo sanga bashishita taba akafingishe baka ichusha fi bale unaola fempia mule pepera kufe chalo chesu no kulanda kwefine muletwe bako mukwae
ati kuno the province takuri na chira mwana pali bakalaba
na ina nintamba video apapene ama light yala yoko mwikala imwe
Awe 24/7 nangumira ngenje kamera ninkwatanya mema light swap.
Tayaya.
Tangwante.
Iye mwelesa. Ha.
Na mimi na ni free shirin tact if you set up a problem ya light kunao.
Eso akabra mwakapatula kanisha tala mwana pofia baby.
This is the reality. Na mkombo ni monse laba kwata maraita abantu tabakwata problem hii ifotika la mtao ni hili awe 24/7
but mule mwana shani situation uko bali sekera mwe fi ateka ba brurusheso
bengi bale msupporta
kuko kumwabo
yes
kama right tayaya
but futi kuli bambi abalela ndata atunasha atatuchima atunasha nomba tulechula batana
Zambia's 2021 election will go down in history as an election with no losers. There were two winners. President Hichilema won the vote, and President Lungu won the hearts of every person who loves democracy and peace by gracefully transferring democratic leadership and extending his brotherly hand to President Hichilema. I am grateful that the Commonwealth has been allowed to be part of Zambia's remarkable journey since independence. It is indeed a high moment for the Commonwealth, for Africa, and the whole.
Alela ndata lebwererapo nakabiri aletupuma kuti mwasumina imwe kuti mwasumina limbe aba kuti basumina kwangaloko nimasoberayo nimasobera. One time I was in Mkobeko, he put me in there. He must say thank you that I'm the president of the country. If I was to do what he did to me, he wouldn't even be going to church the way he was in church yesterday.
and women, fellow Zambians, I have chosen to make my remarks on this matter because of their importance to the life and well-being of our country. You are aware that recently there has been legal petitions against my eligibility to stand as a presidential candidate in both 2021 and the future. This matter has been settled by the Constitutional Court. The reopening of what was settled remains illegal and a clear act of lawlessness. It is now common knowledge that the petitioners are surrogates of State House and remove those perceived to have vested interests in the case. My hope and prayers are that there will be respect accorded to my application currently before the court to help restore confidence in the courts and the judiciary. The recent events where professionals have been removed and punished for doing a professional job makes a very sad turn of events. I have in mind the unconstitutional removal and harassment of the former Director of Public Prosecutions, Ms. Lillian Flatashawa Sioni, the Registrar of Societies, Tandiwe Piri Muhende, and the recent suspension of 3 constitutional judges, among others. All the complaints against the judges were comprehensively dealt with. We see that the matter has been, without cause or justification, reopened, and the judges now stand suspended. These developments are very serious and are undermining the rule of law and democracy in our land. The scheme to undermine the 2026 elections. It has become very evident that schemes designed to undermine the 2026 presidential and general elections have been heightened. From secret issuance of NRCs or national registration cards to the secret registration of voters. The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has not bothered to publicize this exercise and has not bothered to conduct it in an open manner. All these devious schemes are being implemented to attempt to destroy the opposition, decimate viable and credible candidates, and present an opportunity for the UPND to seal the 2026 election. Our call is that the participation of democratic institutions such as Parliament, Judiciary, and the Electoral Commission of Zambia in these illegal and dangerous schemes being perpetrated by State House would amount to the act of treachery and reversal to our democratic values and the democracy we constantly all aspire to achieve. These actions are threatening our national security and our cherished peace. We make this call to Zambians, who are the real custodians of both our peace and security, that democratic dividends earned so far must not be lost. Both our independence in 1964 and our democracy in 1991 were hard fought for, and the sacrifices made by our forefathers must never be sacrificed at the altar of political expedience and narrow partisan interests being perpetrated by President Hichilema.
I'm handing over power to myself, and when I come back, I will lock up that chap, and this time he will die in prison. Now me, I'm seated here. You think you can come back and lock me up and kill me?
The scheme was very clear. As soon as he became president, he went for key institutions, as highlighted by the former president. He removed the director of public prosecutions illegally, Lillian Shawa Siyuni. She was removed unceremoniously and against the law. They've installed his former lawyer, Gilbert Andiford Piri, as DPP. He brought a UPND cadre from Kabwe as Attorney General, Mulilo Kabesha, and he put his own nephew, Masho Mchende, who was also his lawyer, as Solicitor General. Institutions were swept. All of them were swept. Many people said, well, he's a new president. He has to put his new people. They gave him a chance. They didn't see that his schemes were aimed at destroying democracy. They didn't see that he was going to be vengeful, despite repeated assurances to his political opponents. They didn't see that he would use the law, abuse the courts, abuse parliament, abuse the Electoral Commission of Zambia to attempt to destroy democracy. This is where we are. In the last 2 days, two very concerning issues have happened. The jailing of Secretary General of the Patriotic Front, Raphael Nakachinda. First of all, Raphael Nakachinda is facing over 21 cases, is before 12 magistrates. And you know, they cast the net so wide that something will catch Nakachinda. But let's look at the matter that he has been taken to jail for. First of all, there's a repeal to the law. At the time of his earlier conviction, this law was repealed. This is a criminal defamation of the president. In fact, all other matters relating to this matter, to this law, were discontinued, except Nakachinda's. When his lawyers submitted before the court, they said this law has been repealed and Nakachinda has not been convicted, and the law requires that you, magistrate, acquit him or the DPP discontinues the matter. The DPP now ruling said, no, because your remarks were against the judiciary, so we'll take no exception. This, you are undermining the judiciary and you are, causing damage to the judiciary. So for that reason, I will not listen to. She ignored what the law provides. So we expected the new magistrate, the new High Court judge who was recently appointed, to apply the law fairly. But what happened again in that case, there was no law applied, and without his knowledge, a matter was called and sat, and Nakachinda was in another court below, in another court, just learned that he had been jailed by this new High Court judge. I'm trying to get her name. I think we published her name. It's very important that we begin to name names. We begin to put posters. We begin to remind ourselves who's doing what, so that when one day Zambia is independent, we can hold individuals accountable. Because people think that they can hide in institutions. That, for example, Nelly Muti can hide in the law that she's speaker and abuse the law. You have to remember her and what she's doing to the law. Government is not run by government itself. It's run by individuals like you and me who have conscience. It's very important that every time we occupy these offices, we remind ourselves that we are mere servants being deployed to do the duty for the people of Zambia. I always was troubled. The various offices I held, and I can tell you, when I ran the office of the former president, when after the late president died, there was an extensive audit to the office, and it was a clean audit. Wherever I have served, whether I was permanent secretary in Northern Province, before I went in, I did an audit, and then I did an exit audit, both internal and external. I would call the National Audit Office for them to do a special audit for wherever I served. I knew that if I left any matter dirty, it would haunt me in future. And I wish that this should be the approach of all, service holders, people that hold these both constitutional and appointed offices. We are mere vessels for the people of Zambia. So if people think that they can remain unaccountable, do the bidding of State House will not be there. I went to Eastern Province as permanent secretary. I went to, Western Province as permanent secretary. I went to Ministry of Information and Broadcasting Services. I did an audit, both, when I came in and an external audit when I left. It didn't matter how long I served. As far as I'd signed, given authority, I did the same. I did the same when I went to South Africa, and I did the same when I went to Ethiopia as ambassador, in the last 8 years. It's imperative that office holders are held accountable. So the magistrate, newly recruited judge, her name is Justice Anne-Mary Kachenga Malata Onuji. I think her father was a Colonel Malata. She's former director and chief executive officer of the Zambia Institute of Advanced Legal Education. She passed this judgment, despite what we've just stated, against Nakachinda, and upheld a wrong conviction in the lower court. Nakachinda had hoped that the law would prevail, but it was not to be. Today, Chimbaka Mbwili, former Minister of Information, member of the Central Committee of the Patriotic Front, also facing various charges. And remember, the praise singers like to say you did something wrong, you stole. These are not corruption cases. Nakachinda is facing over 20 cases. None of them have anything to do with crime or criminal offense. It's just what he said. I was facing 3 cases over what I said. No corruption, no nothing. Chimbaka Mbwili is facing charges over what he said. This is where the oppression is. It's not what we did. It's not what we allegedly stole. No, it's over what Nakachinda said. Today he's been sent to jail for 18 months. Obviously, it's to exclude him at all cost from the current political process, where Nakachinda was at the center of both the Patriotic Front and Tonse and the reorganization to get us a new leader. So it's an attempt to disrupt that process. Chimbaka Mbwili has served 5 months, or the mandatory 2/3, because you are required by law, if you've been of good conduct, you just serve 2/3 and you are released. Is expected to have been released just before our independence celebrations, either today or tomorrow. You've heard those reports where the police rushed to charge Kambwili that he committed an immigration offense when he went to Zimbabwe. You remember the debacle where the Zambia Police Service, personnel from CID went to Zimbabwe and retrieved a very sick, very unwell Chimbaka Mbwili from Zimbabwe. Today, because he's expected to be released tomorrow. And remember, his wife has been saying, my husband is not well. They want him to die in prison. He's got this consistent BP as a cardiac issue, and they're not allowing him to see medical doctors. She's been crying that he be admitted to hospital. These have gone on deaf ears. So today, when we are expecting that Kambwili will be released tomorrow, what have they done? They've slapped these charges. It's inhuman. What do they want? They want Kambwili to die in prison. And then they can come and mourn that we mourn Kambwili. He was a great statesman. He was a fearless opposition leader, that we will remember him as a minister. And they will line up to say like they are doing on the late president. This inhuman treatment is being occasioned by President Hakainde Hichilema. Don't blame anyone. Don't blame anyone else but the president. Because he has set the tone, he has set the spirit, both in his speech and in his deeds. He wants the former officials punished, and punished severely. He wants the opposition decimated. He wants to be the only candidate in 2026. I saw a video of Kambwili. The last time we saw him, a few days, the last 2 weeks, I think this was Kambwili. They've refused to take him to hospital. The wife has been pleading, was supposed to be released, I think, tomorrow. And they've slapped fresh charges against him.
Fellow citizens, it has now been 7 days, since the untimely passing of our 6th Republican President, Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Our thoughts remain with the bereaved family, whose pain is shared by many across the nation. Those who loved, respected, and honored President Lungu for his service to our country. Indeed, Zambia is a nation in mourning, not just for the loss of our former head of state, but for the last of the 6 men who have had the honor of leading our beloved republic before me. In this moment of collective grief, I wish to make a solemn call, a call for peace, a call for love, a call for unity. Let us embrace the bereaved family, the Patriotic Front Party, and their supporters with compassion and solidarity. Not as a political rival or political rivals, but as fellow Zambians, brothers.
It took 7 days for the president to come to the public, to come to the world, to announce the death of the late president. There was a Facebook posting 3 days after the late president died. But essentially, the death of a former president is announced by the president. It took 7 days. 7 days. We've never understood. Now, there are various party officials that are lying in prison for various unknown offenses. Most of the youths were charged with armed robbery cases. Some have not been tried. But let's go to the prominent ones. Davis Chama and Brian Nyoni. Davis Chama was Minister of Defense. They relieved a case of 2015 and he's been jailed. Joseph Malanje, we've discussed that case together with the Fred Sonyamba, the Secretary to Treasury. You have the Minister or former Minister of Infrastructure, Ronald Chitotela, and Nixon Chilangwa. I'm going to do a special story on these two, because the case of Ronald Chitotela and Nixon Chilangwa is very surprising. The guys that were driving the Mahindra appeared in court and were jailed for disorderly conduct and riotous conduct and beating people during that day. Can you imagine what has happened to those? And then when the community arose, because the victims of that were driving this Mahindra that was later burnt by the community, they've appeared in court in Kawambwa for their riotous behavior, that they were beating people, they were stopping people, they were acting in a riotous manner, and the community ambushed this vehicle, and it was later torched. Chitotela was not there. Nixon Chilangwa was not there. So I'm going to discuss this in light of the new evidence that has emerged. And remember, Nixon Chilangwa had even complained to the Judicial Complaints Commission that the magistrate, and he laid evidence on the table, had misconducted himself, that there were recordings where the magistrate was being promised that would be transferred from that place, and that he will be promoted, and that, there was some gratification that he was receiving, and there were recordings of those meetings. I don't know how Nixon Chilangwa got them, but he laid them before the Judicial Complaints Commission and requested the magistrate to recuse himself. The magistrate refused to recuse himself. In fact, he issued a bench warrant against Nixon Chilangwa. Remember when Nixon Chilangwa was in Lusaka, and then proceeded to jail them despite this damning evidence against the magistrate. The magistrate has been promoted, and promoted twice ranks. Is in Luansha. When we went to the burial of the two brothers for Chimbakambwili, someone pointed the man to me that's a magistrate. Is a senior member of the SDA, and we're in Chingola in that church. I felt like walking up to him and saying, here in this sacred place, surely should you have done what you did? If Chitotela and Chilango had the case, why didn't you hand it over to another magistrate, especially that your hands were tainted? But on the second thought, I would say, no, they will say contempt, that you've attacked the judge. But when you are in church and you're all kneeling and praying, sometimes you want to walk up to a brother. Maybe we can confess together before the Lord, But when I saw the magistrate, I felt like walking up to him and just confronting him with the facts. So we have Chimbakambwili himself, who's in court. GBM, it had to take a pardon. It had to take a pardon from President Hakainde Hichilema, the persuasion of the Chitimukulu and many people for GBM to be released because he's battling with a cardiac condition, and his former Minister of Defense. There's a case I've brought here. It's an old case, almost 20 years old, but I brought it here. Katele Kalumba Faustin Kabwandaro Nchungu, because I personally complained when they were jailed. My complaint to the Judicial Complaints Commission was that there was no way the Chief Justice should have sat on that case. Because in this case, he was Attorney General. He was prosecuting these men and women in London. And the other judge, Jones Chinyama, was the magistrate that convicted them at lower level. Ethically, it cannot be done. But it was done. And my complaint to the JCC was thrown out on the understanding by the JCC that had no local stand, I should get Katele Kalumba, Faustin Kabwandaro Nchungu to complain. And when I went to prison to attempt to speak to the men here, they said you could be right, but we can't complain, And we saw a pardon emerge within a year for the three colleagues. But that's where the abuse of the judiciary has been. Why did President Hakainde Hichilema target these key institutions? Remember, at Parliament, he put someone who was facing serious fraud charges, 35 million kwacha stolen for pensions and benefit, matter in court. Nelly Mutu was accused. She had a nole. She has never been cleared of those cases. A nole was entered in 2018. The president took a person facing those serious fraud charges as our Speaker of the National Assembly. And we're supposed to praise that and forget that there is no noose hanging against the Speaker. There's even a civil case by the retirees to attempt to recover that money that is in the High Court. No, but that's the one the president chose. He loves very weak people. Because if he's holding things against them, they'll be far better than any cadre can discharge his will of how he wants to shape those institutions. Nelly Muti, because of the charges she's facing that have never gone away, should never have been our Speaker. And then the president picked her sister. And literally, when I say her sister, I'm not using a term because they are both female. Her sister as ICZ chairperson, because the two between them are cousins or sisters. Electoral Commission. It is the first time that our country was having a known judge as head of the Electoral Commission of Zambia for the first time in our country. Just look at, since the creation of the ECZ from Independent Electoral Commission of Zambia from 1990, when we converted it from a department to an independent electoral commission, it's been headed by either a High Court judge like Judge Walia or Supreme Court judge, either current. In many cases, they've been current Supreme Court judges that have headed that institution. This time, they got a UPND cadre, a UPND lawyer. By the way, she's qualified. She could even be judge, but she's a UPND cadre. And they made her sister to the Speaker of the National Assembly as a head of the ECZ. And you've seen the rot that has since occurred to the two institutions. Our members of parliament have been punished and punished severely. Always on suspension. There's always an MP on suspension. I think Mtoto Kafaya is still serving. Every time there's a group of MPs either on suspension or are returning from suspension. Then the revocation of seats, the declaration of seats, most of them have been outside the law. You have seen how she has destroyed Parliament. You've seen how Mwanga Zalomis has destroyed the Electoral Commission of Zambia. I said the biggest assault was the judiciary. Many celebrated when, when we heard that the acting Chief Justice was Michael Msonda. If you go to the records in 2021, I penned a note. I even went on radio and said, we hope that President Hakainde Hichilema is not going to put this man, his personal friend, and they work together at Grant Thornton, in the matters of liquidation of Luansha mines. I hope that he won't make him Chief Justice. So when they brought Mwamba Marila, who I had known because I served at the African Union and he used to be, court, he used to head one of the African courts in Banjul. There's a good record. He is a member of the African Union, distinguished leader at the United Nations. We all celebrated. I personally welcomed the appointment of Mwamba Marila. And when he gave his inaugural statement, John Sangwa was so excited that, he said this inaugural statement should be published. And I think John Sangwa must have advertised at personal cost. I put that inaugural statement of the Chief Justice on my page. Oh my God, don't we all regret? You've heard how John Sangwa was disparaged. You've heard how Brebna Changala, who also hailed this man, that is the worst Chief Justice we've ever had, from a distinguished record. You purposefully destroy your own name. Brebna Changala was on my show and he repeated these words. John Sangwa was on my show, he repeated these words. I am repeating that I even fought the Deputy Chief Justice, issued strong statement that they shouldn't make him Chief Justice. Maybe we should have allowed him to be Chief Justice. Maybe he could have been a better Chief Justice than what we have. Look at the cases against the Patriotic Front. The cases have never been heard. They've never been heard. They're always thrown on technicality by especially the newly appointed judges that were appointed by President Hakainde Hichilema. We have Charles Mushota. We have a lot of technocrats that are in prison too. Charles Mushota, the former DBZ Managing Director, Samuel Walia. This was a very sad case because Samuel Walia, as Managing Director, is entitled for his benefits, for his children to be paid for school fees. And after a period of 6 months, an audit came and said, I think there was some irregularity, that the fringe benefit for the MD to have school fees paid for were no longer among the conditions of service. What we do in public service when an error like that occurs, interest related, allowance related, is just to recover the money. Ask any public service. If you demonstrate that this is not theft, it's probably an oversight, or whatever it is, someone didn't bring the receipts. It's rare that they criminalize that. Well, Samuel Walia, former DBZ Managing Director, went to prison for that. Amos Chanda, although he's with them, but his case is very notable. Amos SEC came to his house. They were searching for alleged allegations of corruption. But they took him to court for insults. SEC has never prosecuted a case of insults. But that's what they took Amos Chanda for. You can see the flagrant abuse of institutions. And then, you know, the case of Kaiser Zulu and others. But there's one case that will be revisited, Francis Mchemwa. Francis Mchemwa, because he was a so-called commander at Intercity, he attracted a lot of hatred from the opposition. So they had to find something. But the case for which they found him has no merit at all. First, they've seized his assets. They want to attribute it to a salary that he used to get at ZESCO. The point is, number one, where are the people that were authorizing these salaries? Why aren't they jointly charged with Francis Mchemwa? Can a member of the public get a salary from ZESCO? Who actually, that's what I'm saying, we need to name names. Who actually thought it wise to begin to pay Francis Mchemwa, if that is true? And why are they not in court with Francis Mchemwa? Because where is your conscience? Where are your rules? Where are your regulations? I remember one time one minister came into my office in 2011, 2012. We were advertising one of the largest water projects, because I was vice chair of this committee for water and sanitation at national level. The PS local government is usually the chair. I was, area PSs that have a lot of water in the country, Northwestern, Luapula, Northern. That time it was one, Northern and Muchinga, form part of that committee with donors. It's a well-funded committee. And we lobbied with my minister then, Freedom Skazwe, for these big water projects, because we had married them to the statistics, the diarrheal diseases that were occurring, infant mortality rate as a result of not having clean drinking water. And then there were these national projects that I think were being funded by the EU. Nakonde, Chinsali, Mpulungu, Isoka, where we're having these huge number of debts. So there were multi-million contracts. And for the province, I did with our committee these adverts. And a certain senior minister had a company and he wanted to have this contract. So I said, Minister, if I want to take over, first of all, I don't do corruption. Two, I don't do favors in my office. Many people, many friends, many relatives might not like me, but I don't do favors, because I know these are public offices. But Minister, I'll do you this favor. I'll give you this contract and you're unable to do it. When I leave, they will come and accuse me of corruption. It will be me. They will not even remember there was a minister who was calling for this. The minister thought we were lying or I was joking. We let an independent process get done. There was even something that I learned there, where members of parliament would call me, Tatulefoya local contractor, PS Tatulefoya Mutupelo Chinese. I said, why don't you like your own people? No, local contractors, they will never deliver. But anyway, we did a competitive process, went through, and the minister's company and other senior people from Lusaka were not among the successful bidders. This minister stormed my office and threatened to fire me. I said, well, Minister, you don't have to fire me. I can walk away from here. But I will not do something wrong. And you are a dear brother of mine. If there's anyone who should understand me, it is you. But if you want me fired, that I'll tell us that but I'll never do something wrong. And Mr. Sata had ears in all corners. That evening he called me. Labako, Mwamba fiet. No one can fire you. Did they appoint you? And I knew somehow, somewhere, he had heard that I was being harassed for making proper decisions. So the case of Francis Mchemwa, receiving a salary, and then you grab his assets where you can't justify. First, you haven't done an audit at at the intercity, whatever it is. Francis, because he's a cadre, is a commander one, whatever. They are not convicting him for the offenses he did. No, they are convicting him and punishing him because he represented the so-called cadres that they have to punish. Let's go to the important things. How did President Hakainde Hichilema, before I open the phone lines, because we have to open the phone lines at 1 and it will be a broadcast. To punish the PF, he brought nice and sounding things. He said, number one, that he was going to set up an economic and financial crimes court. He announced it. The Chief Justice just implemented it. Red flag number one. It immediately blurred the lines of the executive and the judiciary. The Chief Justice acted like a compliant little boy, immediately even did some statutory instrument where technocrats and legal minds even wondered if it was legal at all. Then there's something the Chief Justice did. He swept that entire Lusaka magistrate complex. He removed Chief Resident Magistrate Dominic Makalichi, transferred him to Ndola, Felix Kaoma, Tuchpata, then Principal Magistrate, Resident Magistrate Jennifer Waria. Silva Munyina was brought from Mansa to replace Jennifer Waria, Betty Malupenga, Francis Sato, Tandose Sakala Chavala, Alice Nyerenda Walusiku, Exilda Chandansunge, Chinunda Chaula, Rachel Mwanza were all removed, and they brought new magistrates. So they brought Davis Chiwili as Chief Resident Magistrate, Aidan Zalipiri as Principal Resident Magistrate, then a catalogue of them. Principal Resident Magistrate Silva Munyina was brought from Mansa, Irene Wishimanga, Mbuyawano Naiza Simvula, Honorable Trevor Kasanda, Faide Samaundu, she's an old lady, she had been there, and wife to the current SEC board chair. She's among those that were retained. Crispin Hampungani, Exilda Nsungechanda, Constant Kasankala, Fine Mayambu. They swept. They brought new magistrates. This clearly gave you what was to come. That was a red flag. And remember then, Attorney General, they got a cadre from Central Province, a lawyer, UPND lawyer, and was trying to stand in a constituency in Kabwe, Murilo Kabesh, and they brought him as Attorney General. Masho Mchende, nephew to the president, but also lawyer for the president. They removed Lillian Shawa Siuni, brought Gilbert Piri, who was a lawyer for the president as well. What you are seeing now, where bail can't be granted, bail pending appeal, which is automatic for the last 6 years. When you are convicted, your merit are good, you can argue your case in the High Court, you appeal, you can be granted. President Hakainde Hichilema says the Economic and Financial Crimes Court has to be heard and wrap up all affairs within 5 months, a matter that is illegal. You cannot prescribe time for the courts of law. They're supposed to be independent. They can achieve faster or later, depending on the delay, and you know the bulk of the work that the judiciary have. The red flags were everywhere. So today, it's a miracle. Out of all the people that have been jailed, the only person I know who's gotten bail pending appeal is Maureen Mabonga, who was, recently jailed for hate speech. And the Economic and Financial Crimes doesn't try the people stealing now. It will not try the president will not, first of all, fire the 5 ministers that the SEC talked of. The SEC compiled a report, Mr. President, your provincial minister and 5 ministers are corrupt. Give us leeway to independently investigate them. The president has never suspended these key officials. The PS were named, Tabo Kawana, my dear brother, and the Central Province PS were even named as those, and the Livingstone mayor The SEC named them as that they had active cases and they wanted to proceed and prosecute them. Well, PS Kawana was actually promoted from director to PS. You've seen the wanton conduct of the Central Province PS, who's literally just now using, resources from his ministry just to campaign. He's a cadre. So they won't touch him despite this damning report from the SEC. So the Economic and Financial Crimes Court, probably we should just call it a PF court. Because if it was an economic and financial crimes, it will pursue economic and financial crimes. It doesn't matter who has committed that offense, it will pursue them. They'll be brought before that court. But just check who is before that court other than the PF. The lines are open now. I've just seen that the technical committee has been blasted by all civil society grouping. Is illegal, his setting is illegal. Surprisingly, even Laura Mitty, I saw Laura Mitty cry that journalists are not well informed. How can journalists say that I'm sitting on the committee? And she was shocked. She claimed that these journalists are not informed. No, Laura Mitty, they are not, it's not that they are not informed. Many people think you are sitting on that committee for the simple reason. The day the president was swearing you in as member of the Human Rights Commission was the day the president was swearing in this 25-member committee. So our people have not even read the difference. You took center stage, not Mushabati. But that day, all media captured you. So people think you are sitting on the not on the Human Rights Commission, but that you are sitting on the technical committee for the constitution making process. So do not accuse journalists of not researching. It has come from there. But these are the people sitting on the technical committee that Laura Mitty was complaining. But Laura Mitty says it's also illegal. At least she has put her views across and she has condemned the terms of reference despite being a close friend of the president. This illegal committee has begun its work. One day. We need to name them. Because Judge Christopher Sichimwa Mushabati is a retired judge. He was a respected judge. So why is he allowing an illegal process? Why is he getting allowances from an illegal process? Laz has stated the illegality of this technical committee, its composition and its foundation from the point of the law. It is illegal. But the president is bulldozing, abusing his powers as president and unleashing this, giving them a 1-month deadline to come up with this draft so that Bill 7 can pass. And you know why he wants Bill 7. You know why he wants Bill 7 to pass. So, nalaba lumbula tukabebukishe one day. Christopher Sichimwa Mushabati, judge, is a chairperson. Dr. Lindilani Banda is a vice chairperson. Members are Felicity Kalunga. Eva Jala, she's a commissioner at the Judicial Complaints Commission. She's, I think, vice. There are a lot of wrong things she's doing there. Douglas Tambulukani, Veni Munyumbwe, Bishop David Masupa, Grace Sinkamba, Isaac Mwanza, Isaac Mwanza, who is usually petitioning the Constitutional Court. He knows how illegal this process is. But that one day we should get our money back. Guess Nyirenda, youth activist. I've worked with him several times. Ngande Mwanajit Wongande, you were head of Afronet, a trailblazing human rights organization. And if there's anyone who understands between politics and human rights, it's you. And you know you are sitting on an illegal committee. His Royal Highness Chief Chamuka, their Royal Highness Kutua Belela, and Chief Nyampande, they are honeymooning, they are Kutua Baleke Shamfumu. Doreen Kabwe, Apostle Charles Ndandula, he heads the Apostle Church in Zambia. I think very well informed man. Then Grand Mufti Ikram Sanaula and Kamlesh Shafti. The lines are open. Let's contribute. We are discussing, just this lawfare, the use of the law to punish political opponents, the abuse of the law that has happened in the last 4 years. And I'm inviting you to make your comments.
Alela ndata alebwererapo nakabiri aletupuma kuti mwasumina imwe kuti mwasumina limbe aba kuti basumina kwangaloko nimasoberayo nimasobera. One time I was in Mkobeko, he put me in there. He must say thank you that I'm the president of the country. If I was to do what he did to me, he wouldn't even be going to church the way he was in church yesterday.
Okay.
Let him say something quick.
All right. It will be well. All right. Yeah, let's do it quick. Yeah. Right. You have your Bible?
Yeah, I have my Bible, I have my notebook. We can be this side. Okay.
And now all of us, maybe you can go just behind.
So, honorable colleagues, from 2021 through to 2026, those who know their rights and their freedom and are patriotic, not only by rhetoric, but at heart, they will commit, just like we have collectively committed, to fight for democracy, fight for the well-being of every Zambian. And the journey towards achieving freedom and victory is punctuated with detours like this, especially when institutions of government are threatened by those who are alien to follow the rule of law. I am privileged today to go into prison for speaking for the Zambian people, alleged to have, defamed the president, even when the law has been repealed. We will continue to speak, even in detention. The challenge remains with those of you who have a bit of freedom, because those of us who are going in prison, we are not different from those of you outside, because you are gagged just like we are going to be detained and cannot speak. It's up to you to summon courage and continue to fight for Mother Zambia. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have a caller. Caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hi, my name is Billy. I'm calling from South Africa.
Barry, just hold on. Yeah, continue.
I've got a question and a comment. My question is concerning the amendments, constitutional amendments. Is it really that pressing that the constitution should be amended a few months before the elections? What is the urgency? Why the amendments? And have the Zambian people been consulted? That's my concern. And then about Zambian democracy. Is there still democracy in Zambia? I'm commenting on this based on the judgment I heard concerning Nakachinda yesterday, that he's been sentenced to 18 months in jail for speaking something. But I've heard politicians in South Africa make more deadly statements than that, and they've not been jailed. I've heard politicians make more deadly statements than that in the United States of America, and they've not been imprisoned. That is my concern. Is there still democracy in Zambia, or should we be scared to air our views?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador. How are you?
Very well, thank you, my brother. How are you? Who's calling, and tell us where you're calling us from?
This is Concerned Citizen. I'm calling from Lusaka.
Concerned Citizen, make your contributions.
Ambassador, I'm very, very concerned. I mean, what we're beginning to see in Zambia is something very dangerous to democracy. This use of lawfare, where the law is not used to serve justice but political battles, and silence dissent, is very dangerous. You know, Ambassador, when institutions are manipulated to target opponents or critics under the guise of legality, it weakens public trust in the system. It creates fear, like the fear that we have now, the fact that I'm calling myself Concerned Citizens. And we start to believe that justice only applies depending on who you are and what side you're on. And I think we've seen this happening, so many numerous cases that have gone before the law, where you think that the law is skewed towards those who are in power. And you know, this whole issue of lawfare that you've outlined in great detail is not about what happens today and who's being targeted today. It's a precedent. Tomorrow, those same tools that could be used against, the way they've been used against you and others, including those who support the system, might be used on those who are currently in charge. So we need to insist that the law becomes a shield for all and not a weapon for the few. True democracy, I believe, depends not only on elections, but also on fairness, restraint, and due process. You know, this is really important, and it's a source of great concern, Ambassador. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hi, I'm Jonas. Right now I'm calling from Lusaka. Right. I just wanted to, I believe you've been in politics for some time. I want to find out who makes the law? Is it the parliament or the president? If you can answer me that, because I'm kind of confused.
Yeah. Thank you.
The reason why I'm saying this, no, Mr. Mwamba, the reason why I'm saying this is because the defamation, I believe, shouldn't be a criminal offense. In all the developed countries where you and I, we have been extremely lucky that we have traveled countries.
Yes.
Defamation is not a criminal matter. So why you parliamentarian, why have you not acted on this to change? Why is it that now when Alakaching is jailed, you start talking about it? When you defame someone, you're going to go to jail because exactly that's what you parliamentary, you MPs, you've been sleeping. You need to change this. It's crazy that you are jailing people for making defamatory statement. It's crazy. This is not democracy. You parliamentarians, you need to go to the parliament, do your work, and change the law. It's crazy.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Oh, our caller from Kabwe seems to be. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador Mwamba. This is Munkonge.
Munkonge Mwabombeni.
Yeah, Mwamba Shani Ambassador.
Yo Lwankondo bane. Bob landeni po.
Ambassador kwena kutunaranda fati kwena things na irungula na ifunya nifya black punch so pa kuisara mo na ishupa ko sana pantu kwena fe ayama fo wafire baishwa bena Zambia ayama funde alebo mfya ba HH na ba president kwambira fali wa kaundoro bale betati bafonko South Kono pali bachuruboro bale beta mashina aya musarura yengi sana bagwalala chanyoko yali bachako batabate meno abena Zambia wonse bale beta mashina ngabali kako mbomura ndo akwe batama isosere bali yapero muchinji bana wakwe na muri bachuruba bale randa bali tena bachuruba ko batika gwalala na mashina yengi sana Ngere funde bachiruba bali kerepe funde lya ko bati stage yonse bana wako ngabali kakwa lero president ali bomfya ale mama president bonse bale bomfya mashina ama bale bomfya ubufyashi even ngani ba Edgar Lungu chabana wese baka inde manani kali ba Edgar Lungu chakwe bati bali kweto mutimobi noti na fira bati tirefya yiba bapanole koza bapanole iye charengero mwando ko bati pressure ba Edgar Lungu bali sakwata ukufuma ko kulero bamafunde kwataho bakateka kwenana mu mwali kwa torse filofyo bachitire which means ni shimo when waba mu risk ne sonde direta mba uri omuntu afire aikatwa pali pitirere nshitapa ko bati babekate ba eche bakale tono kuranda po pali filofyo achitike because bali tobere ifunde kwikara omuntu pamutwe Then ayamafunda aya nono ba eche yo batobere nshitaba Edgar Lungu bale teka bali toba amafunda yengi ko bati kuka tepende no kupenda mukulanda mu actions badura ndo akwe bati ba Edgar Lungu bale ko nkefunde ro bali kwetera mutima wabu fyashi bali shwaita ma politics ofo yaba nomba ndeba ko fo abena Zambia wonse tuiseka bana kachinda tuiseka bachirangwa tuiseka bachitotera target number 1 wonsaba abantu balebika mu kifungo abantu abakuturangirako wonsaba abantu ba Mwamba bakunse ya charo ba Mwamba nga bali mu Zambia nga bale turangira po kuchira napa tule tumina pa platform wonsaba abantu ababutawoka balya abantu abakutupokororako so abantu abaleseka no kutota babweshe babika mano panshi because wonsaba abantu abakuturangirako nga baba inside mu prison twashara nomba bana banshuwa ifiri fyonse na obene ba Freemanson muranda po na obene ba GBV na film mbisha musarura lofika mboku kitikanomba fika mboku kita effective abakwimini nako okuranga ni kitabalipo so for wena Zambia tutontonkanya mikuitatu tuishibe bushe charoko kirero ne nkwisa tufunye PF tuibika aside ama differences tuyabika aside but tumone tupende epo charo chambira including nguri wawerenshiki bare pera freedom na twalerusha ubuntungwa gatabare tupera chance na tutwapokera ubuntungwa nombara bera bare konka ko human rights watupera ko chance na nguterero na bena kutopokera na independence wakaunda pakweva democracy isi wakaunda nga vale chitefifire chitavava president famba wakaunda na ino chitanga valiteka nga vachinjanya afe n'avana nomba vakaunda valiwerera paishi au katuva peri avantu kanji tu chitefe fair play nombe fifi achitika pali 4 years wefove na Zambia alava echire chino neulera ndanja vapatapu na alivatemwa nombofe vale chitefe shiwembi vatontonganya sana ishina vale panga teri suma.
Thank you very much, thank you very much, thank you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name, where you are calling us from. Auf your way now. Landile mu microphone, speak in the phone. Yeah, that's better. That is better. Speak through the phone. Yeah.
Na chalafu ni kwatako message mwewe kwa wanenu ba echecha bo mpule ngana bena ma politics. Nimba kwatako message is simple. Inene bo Mwamba ndiri mubemba. Batira tukumye zoko na fuma. Wangano mwele akafa kumwele. Ba echechi na bakaka abantu abengi sana. Nokulalika ba purusha abo bale ya freely. So in the same measure bale chitefintu balele kabe na bena Maria Zaromes bena bale ya free nge mwe benshite abo ndairanga ya South Africa rabena Maria Zaromes bakalaika kupiro kunyabo ubebe kwefyo beshi beati na bena omwele.
Thank you. We are featuring this analysis on former persecution of leaders, and you are free to call. The lines are engaged already, but keep on calling and I'll pick as many calls as possible. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Okay, my name is Sencho Banda.
Oh, Honorable Sencho Banda, welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. We are living at such a sad time as a country. It's the darkest moment of the country. Rightly so, because we ought to be thriving in our democracy. I believe that President HH will have done better to thrive our democracy. And one common thread for any progressive democracy is having institutions which have autonomy, separation of power. And one element which is clear that actually we're living in the darkest time of our moment is the prevailing limits among the three arms of government. And not only that, is that the law has been weaponized to actually to quell down dissenting views. And what is sad is that actually it is said that a bad law is not a law at all. And you've seen how bad laws have been put in place to ensure those who have dissenting views are incarcerated. Today, we have an assault on procedural justice, where the president himself gets involved in the procedural justice where he says he picks up a call regarding a matter or somebody who is before the court. What I'm saying is that indeed, if somebody has committed a crime, there must be equity before the court, fairness without political interference. But to have an instance where the president himself picks a call and cause other people to bring to the fore the evidence that somebody should be incarcerated. This is wrong. We are living at the wrong time, at the darkest hour, and Makaunda warned us about this matter. But my plea to President H is he still has an opportunity to make good. And this opportunity to make good hinges on even to stop the Bill 7, which he wants to go ahead and proceed to even go in the deeper waters in doing issues which will affect us adversely. So for me, I think every Zambian, you are born at this time, because this country, we are a constitutional democracy. By extension, meaning the constitution, we gave it to ourselves. And at the core of it, the common thread to the democracy is the election. It's a process which will bring in people who are able to advance our cause. And if the president does not make amends, 2026, the people of Zambia should say, no, I think this is not what we thought. We thought you would have democracy, but what's happening is contrary to what we thought. I think President HS needs to rethink on the route he's taken. He must think about posterity. How does he want to be remembered as a president? How does he want to be remembered, his legacy as one who held the highest position in the land of Zambia? For me, I think he must rethink about tomorrow, because we cannot have a Zambia which is good for one group of people and otherwise, without which I think we'll have problems, as it were. So I thought I should speak to those issues. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Yeah, this is Evangelist Alex Masuka. I'm calling from South Africa.
Yes, Reverend Evangelist.
Yes, I'm actually expressing my sadness of HHC behavior, which is very disappointing indeed. And the unfortunate part is that he's a person who cannot listen. He's a person that has no heart. Because why I'm saying so, I've written 12 volumes to him to plead with him because his leadership. If I remember, you saw me, I was giving the late President Chiluba, there's a first volume, Airport Trap, where I wrote to say his leadership, I have no good news about it because it is going to persecute the church, it is going to persecute people. And when I see things happening like this, the jailing of Nakachinda, the rearrest of Chimbakambwili, it's very painful, and we wouldn't need the country to be governed in this way. And you see, let Hakainde Hichilema must be reminded to say, when God's people speak, they are seeing things that are happening. This Zambia, which is peaceful today, it will be on fire. Because the anger of people, when it keeps on piling, he wants to lead Zambia by force. He refused. I appealed to him to say, let me return home. But I knew that because SDA, they don't want by reformation. But I asked him to say, let me return home. I don't deserve to be a refugee. But because he knows that he's bitter, he doesn't want to listen to God, he refused. He didn't answer. So I want to appeal publicly to say, Hakainde Hichilema must mind his steps because there is God in heaven that listens to the cries of the people. He's a leader who I've appealed to say, if you can cope of what Ibrahim Tarao could do, let him not fall prey or a victim of being used by America or the Vatican to persecute people, because whatever Hakainde is doing, it has no interest of developing Zambia. It has an interest based on himself and those that are funding his political maneuvering. So I want to ask to say, everyone that is listening, that talks to him, he must know that there's a hand of God. All these other presidents that refuse to listen to what God has been saying, they're in the grave. Himself, he can't be the next, because people who he is arresting, they are sick, and he wants to keep them in jail so that they die in jail just to secure his 2026 position. I think that is unfair. If there's God in heaven that is listening, Hakainde Chilema, his exit won't be well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Hello, caller.
Hello, Ambassador Mwamba.
Good evening, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Yeah, my name is Patrick Chilofia, calling from the UK.
Oh, thank you, Patrick. Make your contributions.
Yeah, Mwamba, I've been listening to what you've been talking about. It's unbelievable that such kind of injustice, no adherence to the rule of law, no respect to the Constitution. This is the president Mwamba I supported on principle, because he promised to fight corruption. He promised to rule, he promised to return democracy to Zambia, rule by the rule of law, adhere to the rule of law. But surprisingly, Mwamba, this president made a 180 degrees U-turn, and the route he's taking this country, is unbelievable. Mwamba, this president is taking Zambia towards a tyranny state, autocratic state. Just like State Council Sangwa has been lamenting about, that he controls almost all institutions, including the military. He thinks he controls all the institutions, including the military, enforcement agencies, courts. He's untouchable, and he doesn't want to listen to anybody. He knows that we've got only a few months before elections. He goes and constitutes an illegal technical committee without any, without following the law. But he still wants to go ahead, And Mwamba, in Bemba, there is a saying that mushololwa umuntu shumfwa aide na masikubako. We've got a guy there is Chumbo Mushorola. He wants to do because he wants to stay there forever. But Mwamba, presidents come, presidents go. His plans are not God's plan. So I think what Zambians needs to do is to come together, register as voters. Even if he tries to play with the, whatever he's trying to do, because he thinks he controls he controls everybody. Mwamba, if people come together, they've got the power to remove this guy, and there's nothing he's gonna do. Look at what happened in Malawi. Look at what has happened in other countries. Come next year, the only way to do is to remove this guy, because this guy is not good for our country. I rest my case, Mwamba.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chilofia from the United Kingdom. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
Ambassador.
You are live. Make your contribution, my brother. Tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Calling from Johannesburg. I'd rather remain anonymous.
That is okay.
First of all, I want to apologize apologize to the Zambian people personally for voting for this president. I want to apologize to the late Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. I am certain that I contributed to the state of affairs of what is happening in the nation currently. There is no way that a person can have a heart like this, a leader. For how long? How long is he going to divide this nation? How long would he be vengeful? Sure, all this suffering that Bakambwili has gone through, does he need to do this again? This is really painful. This is really sad. It's retrogressive. It's taking our nation back to where we were fighting for freedom. It shouldn't be like this. Look at how they have destroyed the democracy that Zambia has enjoyed. These people must know that they may try to control everything, try to manipulate things, but one thing is for sure, Zambia is a Christian nation, and people in Zambia pray. We do pray. A time will come, they can control everything, but they don't control God. And 2026, a lot of us are determined to change that decision. Personally, I regret for voting for this government. I do. And I pray that my fellow Zambians will forgive us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There are more calls. Let's take some more calls. Let's take the calls. Let's hear from you.
I'm handing over power to myself. And when I come back, I will lock up that chap, and this time he will die in prison. Now me, I'm seated here. You think you can come back and lock me up and kill me?
I feel extremely bad that this debate is taking angles of delaying the respectful burial, of our sixth president, President Lungu. I feel very sad about it. But we're hoping that reason will prevail at some point. Because while the litigation goes on, we are negotiating. Second, the issues that are coming out, such as voodoo, witchcraft. Personally, I don't believe in witchcraft. Never believed in witchcraft. As a person, as a family, as a Christian, I don't believe in witchcraft. But that now, such a subject shrouded in secrecy, can take a center stage is regrettable. There is no witchcraft. There's only one who takes away life, who gives life. It's God. Who takes it away? It's God. Others will say nature, but we choose to say it's God. Only God can do that. No human being can terminate someone's life other than through criminality, such as shooting somebody poisoning somebody. Now, to talk of witchcraft is regrettable. It shouldn't be there. Let's focus on the work at hand. Let's bury our sixth president with military honors as.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
I'm calling from Zambia, but I would rather remain anonymous, Ambassador.
Anonymous, make your contributions.
Indeed, my contribution is very straight, and it's just a regret having such a government at this particular point, because just, is it 2 days ago, we are having National Day of Reconciliation and Prayers. But to this extent where I don't know what's happening in this nation and where we are going to, we don't know actually. If we don't stand up to change the government next year, we are under total dictatorship right now as the situation stands. Dictators, all the signs that cause for a dictator are actually manifesting under the circumstances that we have. If we don't sit up, wake up, and do the right thing, we are all down the drains. We really need to stand up as a nation. We can't go on like this. If people cannot speak, then what kind of country are we? We really need to stand up. Look at the next 20 years if we destroy the foundation that our forefathers fought for. Akaunda predicted this and it's just coming to the fore. Please, let's stand up as Zambians. Everyone has to register as a voter and change the course of this country. We are in a total mess. We are a total laughing stock. Reconciliation in the nation that is divided. Even if you are the best leader, you cannot run a nation which is divided. We can go the best leaders in the world, but a nation that is divided, no one can manage it. So you need leadership. That's where it starts and ends. A divided nation cannot be run by anybody. So we need to reconcile, and reconciliation, our current leadership cannot reconcile the nation. The country needs to heal. Thank you so much, Ambassador.
Thank you.
God
Thank
bless
you. You steal money from the government coffers, you're on your own. There is no tribalism in the fight against corruption. Osanamiwa. 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 Banzanga. The money we got from Faith Musonda, we gave it for bursaries to universities. The money we got from Ujana Ikandara Mazambiri mu presidential plane. Inani mafunza uyu muntu anampasa presidential jet utasebenzesa ni ndani. Kairi jet ija akontrola ni muntu umozi jana. So anamupasa jet ija ni ndani. Eh. Hapo tileke hapo. Tileke tiende penanga. Zambia. Ungaluvyanya, sinifuna uluvyanya. Sinifuna uluvyanya. Ine nikonka kanjira chape, niungofunza chape ma questions. Paja tinabwera, muntu akamba ndine businessman nakula helicopter na ndalama zanga. Tawina chape baluza, atamangisa ma helicopter ina ngwabisa ku South Africa, ina ngwabisa ku Zimbabwe. Ngati ni yako helicopter, why ubisa? Why enda ukubisa kuja? When we came in, I just did my numbers. President Ramaphosa, my brother, there is something I want there, hidden there. Zambia. Pembera first. So, chushka ndine shushushu number 1 manja. Ndine shushushu number 1. Ndiye chito mnani pasaga? It comes with the territory. So naona kuja nabisa imozi kujohannesburg South Africa nanga inangu iri kuti tienti sakire peza ili muharare kirrenkre my brother President Mnangagwa sikuti mnarunkala kumumba kuja munitandize Zambia nati munitandize first I had to greet him.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
My name is Mary. I'm calling from Kapiri.
Okay, my sister, please make your contributions.
Yes. Like members, they say Turuselwali Lenkwale. And this is what we are seeing. I'm very saddened to see Nakachinda being arrested. And I'm very saddened to hear that Kambwili is being again rearrested. So, my advice to any Zambian, I don't see we are going to have peace 2026. Zambian should be ready for this. I can see it's war, even if we don't want to talk about war, it's going to be war. And then two, if any president is going to be elected from opposition, can we start afresh everything judicially? Like what Sado did, he wanted the lawyer to deploy somebody outside from Zambia. Then go to secondary school, university, and start afresh. All this judiciary, what they're deciding. So we want something fresh and which can unite Zambia as one. I please beg Zambians to pull up their socks and go and vote. That's my word.
Thank you, my dear sister. Thank you very much. Okay. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Mwamba. This is Mr. Kahale calling you from Southern Province, Namwala.
Yes, Mr. Kahale from Namwala. Make your contributions.
Sure. Thank you so much for the topic which you brought here. I just want to react and to say something where Mr. Mwamba, you are dragging the name of the president to be attached to the court, to the court cases which are happening now. I feel, Mr. Mwamba, it's unfair to bring the name of the president to the issue.
Did you listen when I laid the case?
Hello?
Did you listen when I laid the case? I justified.
Yes, actually I listened. So what I'm trying to put across is that I think when you were discussing about how the courts are doing, we should not attach the name of the president because the courts operate independently.
Okay, no, thank you for your opinion. Thank you very much. He says the courts operate independently. Our brother from Namwala. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello, good evening, Ambassador Mwamba.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening to you. Yes, I prepare to remain anonymous.
Yes, anonymous.
Elva Mwamba, before I could point out, I just want to say that people have accumulated quite a lot of fear And I'm just looking at the participants. We participants who have been participating on your platform, we are quite a few. And it's always the same people. This is what I've noticed. This already shows that people are not able to speak out. Sorry, I'm a little bit emotional. That's the first thing. Then, looking at the whole situation, Uganda, Satanism, Mwamba, this is how a Satan works. It puts fear first in people to succeed. Yeah. It would rather, put everyone in hell to pave its way. Yeah, so that it can feel very free to do whatever it wants to do. Yes, Zambia is beyond recognition. We don't know it. Zambia is not Zambia today, just as well. After independence, we can just call it zombie, not Zambia. It has to be called zombie, not Zambia, because it's not for Zambians. It's not for ordinary Zambians. This is all I can say. And I'm just hoping that anyone, who is in government has realized that things are not the way people should actually look at them. People are suffering, but no one is caring. When you do things intentionally because you've got a grudge, it doesn't work at all. Yes. It's like you bear 10 children, your own children, and you drown them. You drown them. You don't feed them. What type of a parent are you? We are crying out, Mwamba. I'm so emotional right now. I'm talking to you. We are crying out. We don't know what to do. It's not fair at all. And I'm just hoping that, they are listening to most of us who are crying out. We are not insulting anyone, but what we hear, it is actually the truth of the matter. Because people are complaining quite a lot. We've got relatives. You ask them a question, it's about crying. The other day I was talking to my sister. She told me if they manage to have 2 meals, full 2 meals, it means that they've got money. They have started rationing food. When you are rationing food, it means that things aren't really working out. Let's hope. Let's hope they know exactly what they are putting an ordinary Zambian in. I end here, Mwamba, because I'm so emotional. You can't just believe it.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you. Thank you, Mama. It's our country. We have to cry for it. We have to beg for it. We have to fight for it. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Hello, caller. Oh, hello, are you there?
Exactly.
Hello, caller.
Hello, good evening, my brother.
Yeah, please mute the other device and tell us where you're calling us from.
Hello?
Mute the other device and tell us where you are calling us from.
Okay, I'm calling from Zambia.
Yes, thank you. Make your contribution.
Yes, I just want to make a comment on the previous caller who requested you to watch how to attack the president. Is that man a Zambian or is he a foreigner?
He's our dear brother. He lives in Namwala. He's a regular contributor to this program.
Was he there in Zambia when our current president was? Yes, this is what I'm saying. Was he there when the president himself was attacking the former head of states? Why didn't he request the current president to tone down
I'm seeing there's no opposition who's attacking the president currently. That man was bitter when he was in the opposition. He was very bitter. He called the head of states all sorts of kind of names. What wrong did you make with your statement? There's nothing wrong. And you clarified. These friends of ours, they want to behave to be whole today. But they can't hold their backs. Also disappointed to hear such a statement from our own brothers. That is my contribution for comment.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Hello, caller. Uh-oh. It's just saying connecting. Network in Zambia, probably. Yeah, you can call back.
Okay.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello, Ambassador. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
My name is Victor. I'm calling from the United Kingdom. Obviously, I'm Zambian.
Yes, Victor. Long time.
Yeah, long time.
You stopped calling Victor. Why?
Nah, Ambassador, you know how these countries are where we are. We need to work hard. We work hard. We have to make sure we are utilizing the hours. But then, Ambassador, today, I won't lie, I actually shed a tear when I read about Bakambwili, and I just can't believe this is the level that we have reached. For me, I think this is it. It can't get any worse than this. It's so sad that, like, there's no nothing, no humanity, nothing, you know? I can't even seem to describe what is going on. Like, is this my country, surely? Is this what we have degenerated to? It's so sad.
Yeah.
I have got no words. I have absolutely no words. I don't know. I'm just hoping God. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know where to start from.
Let's continue to pray for our country. I know we are all feeling the same. The Lord will come and emancipate our country. God bless you, my brother. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
I'm calling Zambia. I'm calling from the land of AI.
Yes, my brother.
I'm very disappointed by the kind of state of affairs in Zambia. We have even Wakambwili has been rearrested. No, there are things that are so disappointing that we have seen the current president when he was in opposition. Even these things that we are calling solutions now, whereby there was a time when he was saying, he was saying that the government of Zambia has sold the land of NRPC, sold the NPC, or those things, but nobody took him to task. But it's so disappointing that now people are being, I don't know. I'm short of words. what is happening in Zambia now is so disappointing. I don't even know what to say.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. You have said what you needed to say. We are becoming something else. We can't recognize our own country. We cannot recognize our own country. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador. Wera na kambini bamunkonjava.
Emkwaiba munkonge.
Ambassador, first amashu ya kuisa kulimwe. Ambassador mumone fe mwagomba kulingana nokotwa mwavushisha i platform. Ne amafruit sale fe muri platform ambya ko ite mumone na fe mone kale londero mba kulimwe Ambassador. Barando kweba kimure pepa no kuyiruka. Ambassador, if you feel chitika, next time encourage, especially when Konkotela, whenever I carama government, whenever the council never in Zambia. Quite a nico ukikatana kwa private first. Na mono kweba ti ili ashiria PF ya kosesha. Neri ashiria ni ama pact, ama alliance. Yalingirirwa kali. So ndero mbako kuli mumwe baliko kunseba Ambassador. Steni encourage abantu beno Ambassador. Balembeshe ko fera mufe tuma party tubiri. Twa independent. Balembeshe ko tuma party mumone fo munge karapanshi. Mwambi okonze chef into munkame feel important before it's too late. Mumwe ngafu abantu Ambassador. Lembeshe ko fera muma party ambya yanyu just in case. Because confusion ya kutonse nga mwai mona balingirirwa kale. Ila ine yali kuuka kutonse yalingira. Mwa last minutes tiarete mpasasi. Esheni kofe Ambassador mwimani akapina abantu abali kunse ya afyaro. Mubika muna balenso abena bamacheicheza. Baba macheichi taba afya. Bachikuku. Gachako batina mkwata vision yo mwingafu abantu kuti bamyafwa. Chiteni li organize lili neno mbali na abantu. Tabashupi yawe abantu barerolera fyo kumona urubutoko lurefuma ngakurolera fyo twikale fifine au nistora posa bena Zambia pansi lembeshe nko tumapate to anyuba Ambassador mwambe no kuranda muri asha munkama abali kunse afya rwabenga chitafandi bengi na abantu bamwe ababena abalerusha bukateka na bufestra ndeni ko na bena convention ibere ko kunse before kura convention kwa muku chitafya announced kwa kwa mukusajira awo ababale itungo kuteka Ambassador bonsa babale ranga abawo mention kwa mbo kwa bika panshi bali ino ine insta babombere kwa bena Zambia basonte ko fyo muntu umu wararubura bena Zambia muri problem otkwete because ntatkwete omuntu umu abantu bakafira okusara abantu barafurungana so weekend abantu mu direction na muni new party abantu abashupawe ama structures kale yabako mwabura fya ama structures yalia mwapera new party tie bwafyawo ni 1 week ni shine no rwimboro wa mu Zambia na abantu already na bamba kwati ni new mwafusha kone misepere ipate ile isa kwei mwabeba wonza bakarambaba babure misepere shikwete kwa mano sho bakashitama adoption ngachabe fyo tapali chiri chonza twingafirwawo so bombere nipo ba Ambassador munkama not pa social media not kuma media mbeni ko kubomba ko munkama muranisha bwino sana mwese mutumbure ne chintu ichakuba chichatuafwa.
Thank you Munkonge. Kwa hiyo Natasha wa Munkonge. Thank you very much for your proposal. We take. Hello caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Thank you very much. I'm calling you from Dar es Salaam.
Yes, my brother.
To be anonymous.
Please make your contributions.
I hope to be anonymous. Am I clear?
You are very clear.
Thank you very much. We are in terrible mess in this country, as you have heard, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba for the calling. This man has made it very clear. You have heard him, and you see the goodness of this man. He doesn't hide. He doesn't hide. He is very clear. He has made it abundantly clear and public for everybody here. He says that he came there specifically to fix PM. Nothing else. and he personally makes sure, he makes sure personally that all PF members go in. You heard what he was saying on Honorable Marang. Therefore, it goes without saying, he is properly in charge himself. That is what he is busy doing in the State House there. That is why he took the Anti-Corruption Commission, all Drug Enforcement Commissions, he put him in office under himself. That is what he is doing. When he tells you he's a busy president who is working hard, that is what he is busy doing. Because people are wondering, this man is saying he's working hard. What is he working hard when the price of milk was escalated? Everything has collapsed. He is working hard in making sure that all PF officials go in. But what we are saying is that I pleaded with him. Say, my brother, please, my brother, again the Islam. This is not the time to be a trainee dictator. If you wanted to be a dictator, where were you in the 60s? Maybe even in the 70s, when we had the Idi Amin, when we had the Mobutu Seko, Ukungwendu was about. That was a time when a person can be a dictator. Not in the 21st century. You can't be a trainee dictator in the 21st century. Look, Honorable Emmanuel, where are you? You are in Zambia here, you are there. That is the proof on itself that you can't be a dictator. And you see, I feel pity for this government. I feel pity. To tell you the truth, I feel pity. Because what is there is that the day this man will leave office, we are all going to resurrect all the cases that are around him. All these ministers that are with him, they all rot in prison. Because all of them, they have got cases. Even the very prison case, we are going to resurrect it. But because he needs to drink a taste of his own medicine. The way he's looking up his officials there, that is the same way we are going to lock up his officials, including himself. He has cases all over. Everybody around him has cases. Even the first lady was mentioned the other time that she was giving some people mines. Why was she getting the mines? All those issues are going to be investigated. So I don't even, and that's why we are appealing to this opposition. As it is now, today, the rigging machine has already started. I've been around for some time, you know, my Honorable Manoma. I have never seen an election being handled like these elections that Mangalas and Madron Spence are conducting. Today, Freddie Member visited the police station in Bahrain. Going there is absolutely no one. During the day, we say they are connecting the radio station here. There's no one. There is absolutely no one. No advertising, nothing. He's insisting he wants to continue a second term when everything is in a mess. Farmers are not a Mano. To them, Toropiri was in the province telling farmers to say, we are only going to pay you when we sell our maize to Marau. You see what's happening in this country? When Emmanuel Mwamba, have you seen a government telling the farmers to say, we are only going to pay you when we sell, when Malawi pays us over the maize, that is 200 metric tons we are selling to Malawi. Even at West, we have never in this country seen a government that has failed in this fashion. Never, even throughout PF, we have never seen this, where a Minister of Agriculture is telling farmers that we are only going to pay you when we sell this maize. Where have you heard? Where have you seen it? This is the most failed government we have ever had since independence. So what we are saying is that we are simply appealing to the opposition to say, please, the opposition are sleeping too much in this country. You see, I was talking to people from Southern Province. They were telling me, you see, we are ready from Southern Province where he's coming from. They were telling me that we are ready to defect, but we want to see a serious opposition. These are his relatives, Honorable Emmanuel. They are saying that the opposition, by not organizing Mumupantunda, you are giving him encouragement that this organization that he's not afraid. Because you not choose a leader, get a leader even from outside. There's John Sango who's coming state council. Support one individual. You have Maduro. You have Maduro coming, Maduro. Bring Maduro here. People are already resolved. And the good things as things stand today is that even UPND on itself is at its weakest. There is no one who wants this government. Even UPND members, you have seen. The entire diaspora has changed. Even the people who are supporting them in the diaspora have changed. Correct. So what are these oppositions still waiting for? The opposition has to unite. This is not a time to look at who and who. This is a second liberation. Zambia needs a second liberation. We are in a terrible mess in this country. Right now, as I'm talking to you, Honorable Emmanuel, I don't know where I last saw electricity. There's total darkness in this country. But the man was busy. You are exposing him. The man had all the solutions when he was in the opposition. He had all the, where are all those solutions gone? We are in total darkness as I'm talking to you now. He wrote in his contract, he's saying that he's selling surplus electricity to Namibia. He's saying he's selling surplus electricity to Botswana. What surplus electricity do we have in this country? What surplus electricity do we have in this country? We are appealing to this opposition to say this is the time for liberation. And this man is terribly determined to lock up all the opposition. Bring somebody like John Sangwa. Bring somebody, even this Maduro, anyone who can come, please. Zambia is in default setting. We are on fire. You have heard for yourself. There is an untold hunger in this country. People are buying minimum at 300, 400, and the man is selling minimum to Barao, to Mutarika. At Mutarika called me, he wants minimum. Mutarika called you, he wants minimum because he knows that Chakwera was voted out because of lack of minimum. But himself, the little minimum that you have in this country, he is selling it out. Even before he reduces the minimum to 50 kwacha. He said he was going to reduce the minimum to 50 kwacha. And before he gives the people of Zambia 50 kwacha, he's selling minimum. He's standing before farmers and telling them that taona matakwa njoka kuno Emmanuel Mwamba, taona maloza. Maloza big time, I tell you. Indeed, my dear brother. I'm only going to pay you when I sell, when Malawi pays me for the minimum that I'm selling. Have you ever heard the government that where is the food reserve agency budget? Yeah. We are in total mess and we are appealing to the opposition to stop sleeping. Thank you. Paramount chief for Western Province told the opposition to say, you are late. All this time, you are supposed to be moving. Why are you not choosing a leader? Give people a leader. People in UPND itself, I'm talking to them in Southern Province. They are waiting for an opposition to resign, to defect from UPND. So please, if I'm Master Manova, I'll be back. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my dear brother. Thank you very much for... I think I'll take the last 3 callers.
Let him say something quick.
All right. It will be well. All right. Yeah, let's do it quick. Yeah. Right. You have your Bible? Yeah, I have my Bible.
Yo, please call her. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
This is the Mwamba from Livingston.
Yes, Mwamba.
First of all, it's very we are going through a very painful stage, very, very painful. The imprisonment of the Secretary General, Honorable Nakachinda, also the arresting of Honorable Chimba Kambwiri. Chimbakambwedi, when you look at the circumstances that went into prison, it was the same case that he was following up, which claimed the lives of his two brothers. Bakambwira pobalimba futashabo bwino. But bali batwala kudeti. Basevinga yakwana. Bafule pibu kufumafuta kwande kashinga 2 days futi bilando shabuka. Bakana kachindo mulandu bayira kujeri omulandu. Ifundika lyabali piuti lyali minikashita taka omulandu wafilia. But ba kujeri. Twaisa kuri ife batritire ba Edgarungu bali bakenyo kuya kuchipatala. Ubushikubaile kuchipatala. Uwa basuminishe obadindire passport. Bali mutanfenjito. Ero munabu walwere tabaile ku hospital. Ero bafuire tabaya ku no get announced after 7 days. Later on, Bambo claim a board. Mwamba takwaba development. Ebarangisha pama billboard. Development ya background. Opposition bakwete te wale twala kujere. Opposition bakwete mazambians. So opposition iri ku Mazambians. That's why banakachinda barandira kwebo kutirati. Ina ngumputira ma pieces. Aya ma pieces yonse era kwataka no era mbokulanda. And this is exactly what they are doing. Already people are stressed in the economy. And for them, whatever fee win my elections at all cost. 2021 we winning my elections. We were in democracy. Tababa bachitirepo ife bachitaba napo. Balungu basa stand over power buno. Kwabula bakatirira power. Muntu wachinga fe muntu fe wa straight. Tingali tasha. Nomba. This is 2025. Washaru mwaka umubali ya 2026. Mune ni voter registration, mune ni abari bench from government, mune na abari electoral commission of Zambia.
Thank you, boss. Thank you, Mike.
Muntu alifuafe pawo muntu wa Mwamba. Nombo mwenso bakwete kanshi, mwenso washani kanshi, mwenso washani. Tuzizi ipibalila ngaromba, mwenso oyu. Mwenso wakwete oyu. And what I should tell them is that umwenso bakwete ba boss beswaba. Ababantu barekaka, baretina sana. So, baretina sana tabarapwa. Bishinga baratwara banga kuchifungu banta pabonzo nombai. Para kuchifungu. Evo barefwa. Uteka abantu. Not abantu babikwati bashaka uteko. Uteko bashani wo. Ufaya abantu babo barechula. Development is zero. Regional development to billboard. Regionalism is full. Amalite the distribution food type sana.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Thank you. Caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Yes, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, good evening, Emmanuel Mwamba. This is John Oscar. I'm calling from Italy.
Yes, sir. Make your contributions.
Thank you very much. I've been listening to the program and I've seen this morning what happened in our country. I have to say that I've been a sad person. I couldn't have expected to hear the sentiments of the people in this world. People are very sad.
the majority. I would say that the majority, maybe other people are happy, you never know, but the majority of the Zambian people indeed are very sad. You talk to different people and they have a lot of challenges, and people have been scared. Have been scared somehow to see their expectation. They were expecting very much Chimbakambuli to come out of prison. I would confess that I was also expecting indeed for this gentleman to come out because of his healthy status. I know the diabetes patient needs a lot of care, and so you see, I felt a little bit sympathy for Chishimba Kambuli, and I was very happy that he was going to come out from prison. And then we have seen what has happened. I was a bit shocked. I don't know whether such a thing has ever happened. Maybe I've never had a good memory of it. I've never seen such type of a thing happening. Somebody to be arrested when he's still in prison and extended the detention. Maybe it's going to be the first time. I've never seen it. But so I have to say to send my greetings to the Chishimba Kambuli family, the wife, the children, the family members, because we know he's not the only one who is now being incarcerated. But greeting Chishimba Kambuli and the family, I want to extend also my embrace to many Zambian people, maybe who might have been incarcerated. I don't discuss the court case. I'm not a judge. I'm not a lawyer, but I sympathize with the Zambian people who are undergoing such situations. I was looking at what is happening in our country by Emmanuel Mwamba. I have to confess to you that I did some research, so I saw something very, very similar of what happened in these countries that I've discovered in Nicaragua, recently in South America, then in Cuba, and then in Venezuela. These three countries have something so similar with maybe what is transpiring. I don't know whether it's going to continue. The status in our country, if it's going to continue, I don't know. But doing some research, I saw some situations quite similar in Nicaragua and in Venezuela and also in Cuba. I hope, this is my hope, that harmony in our country and the respect to the rule of law can be really taken care of. I've heard the sentiments of many colleagues and Zambians, and I would like also to say, well, we have still hope. We still have hope. And I look forward myself to a technocrat. If this government is maybe targeting the politicians, former politicians or politicians who are even active now, probably now it might be a time for a technocrat in Zambia. And on that reason, I have to bless the idea of Council Sangwa to come into active politics and offer himself as a possible solution to what is going in the country. So I bless the idea of Council Sangwa, and our wish God can protect Council Sangwa. Probably God is showing us, all of us, the Zambian people, that we might need a person who is apolitical, a person who is a lawyer, renowned lawyer, and a respected citizen of the Republic of Zambia. So that's in the bad news of today. I think the good news also is that maybe God is showing us. He's showing us as Zambians that, okay, I've given you one of your colleagues who is Sangwa, and I think I would contemplate very seriously about this figure as a solution in the near future in our political experiences in Zambia. Thank you very much. Hello?
Hello. Hello, caller. I lost you there. Oh.
I'm still. Hello?
Yes, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello. I'd like to remain anonymous if you don't mind that.
That's okay.
Yes, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Yes, I am here for me. Yeah. Wonderful. I'd like to probably add a little bit.
Yes, please make your contribution.
Hello. I asked for. There's two of us here. Is there two of us?
You are live.
Okay, fine.
My brother, proceed to make your contribution. You are listening yourself from the other device.
Okay, yeah. I like to add my voice to this show that you have, the verified thing, Mr. Mwamba. It's a good thing, and you've been doing a very good job. But one thing I would like to tell or contribute about is the fact that these leaders that are being persecuted, they are the ones that are supposed to talk for us. And apparently Zambians are looking at the fact that their leaders are being taken one by one, and they think they have no part to play. This is where everything puzzles me, because the wider part of this country are the people, not the leadership that we have. There's only a few leaders, and the rest of us Zambians are virtually quiet. It's probably an element of fear. I don't know. That's why we are complaining, because we think there's nothing we can do. So the complaints keep coming. I don't hope I'm being heard.
Yes, you can hear you. We can hear you.
Yes, the complaints keep coming bitterly because people think there's nothing they can do. Democracy is not just for a set of politicians. Democracy is for all of us. I'll get back to 1988, before the signature of the referendum came in. People took to the streets. Of course, in that kind of way, there was a lot of things that were off, but at least they took to the streets. But if we think we cannot do that in Zambia and just hope in 6, 7, 8 people as in political parties, then that becomes very wrong. Then we are probably saying yes to what is going on, because we can't just sit here and start complaining. The other issue is it's very difficult to make structures of a political party. I'm sure if people don't know that, they should be able to get to understand now. A political party, it's a movement, it's a belief. People believe in certain ideologies and they follow them. So to shift all of a sudden, it does not take the masses that are being led. It takes the leadership to shift the people's mind, because it's in this ideology and the leaders that are apparently leading them in whom they believe. Let me give you a critical example. Edgar Lungu shifted the PF because he saw that the paperwork was taken, hijacked by the current leadership and given to then now Sampa before he came back to the fold. So when that thing happened, Lungu read. Of course, we heard that some MPs were saying, no, let's give it a try to go to the courts. But But he said, look, if somebody starts playing around with laws, is not afraid to juggle with laws, then he's very dangerous. He said those words. Then he's a very dangerous person. You never know where it's going to end. This is what he was saying in short. So now, he chose with the Tonsi Alliance leadership, they chose New Congress Party. You see how it was easy for the rest of the structures to follow suit. So it's leadership that help change the people's minds to go and follow the next other leader probably, or the next other party that is being chosen. So all these leaders coming up, people are talking about John Sangwa. It is difficult. He's saying 1 million, but still we know that 1 million cannot win him a vote. He has to have structures. Michael Sata took him 10 years to get those structures to climb to get to leadership. Probably now we're in a more deeper crisis than we were in MMD. It could take 3-4 years to get to that kind of structures. So these leaders that are coming up, they should not just shun the ones that have got crowds. They should be able to be friendly to them. I like thinking I'm going to do it all by myself. This is not time to do it all by yourself. You should show some alliances somehow, probably, no matter how tainted the names can be. So people, the new leaders that are coming up, they should show alliances. The Kasonde Boendas have been at it for quite some time, probably 2 years. He hasn't got such a large following. You understand now? He should show alliances to some others that are in existence and that can command structures. Being alone at this time won't help. Okay, we all know where this is going with leaders that are popular. Already they are going to prison. Leaders that can put in ideas and people can follow. We've seen what is happening now. And it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. So the next other leaders are the ones that are existing. The faces of BF, we've seen there's Honorable Given Luvinda there. There's Honorable Mundubile probably. These are the faces that we have at the big guns, as per se. You are actually in diaspora. You're one of them. These problems might also be heaped on them, and they go to jail. Then what? That's why it is imperative that these others join the fold. Okay? They become replacements because at least they've shown some courtesies to these very people. It will be easier that way, unlike beginning afresh 6 months down the line to an election.
Thank you, my
It's going to take
brother.
everybody else to be jailed.
Thank you, my brother. Let me take my last call. Father, you got cut there. Please make your contribution so that we can then, wind up the program. Yeah, yes, Father. You got cut.
Yes. Thank you very much. Okay. I was just saying that. Good evening, everybody. Maybe some people that followed my conversation. I was saying we can perceive indeed the sadness in most of the Zambian people. Many of the Zambian people, they have expressed sadness. Sadness in the first place regarding this gentleman, Chishimba Kambwili. What has happened? Everyone was expecting. He's a Seki person. Everyone was hoping that now he could come out and go and take care of his health status. So now just to have heard that Chishimba Kambwili has already he was supposed to come out maybe tomorrow, and then we understand that today he is again been arrested. Indeed, it's a sad, humanly speaking, I felt hurt. I felt very, very sad. I felt pity for the wife, for the family, and for Chishimba Kambwili as well. Just as a human being, this has nothing to do with politics. This has something to do with humanity. And I personally, with the vocation that I have, to speak for the less privileged, to go and visit the people who are incarcerated, to go and visit the sick people, I feel like it's my moral duty in premise. And that's why I feel really sad, because we needed to visit these people, not only Chishimba Kambuli, but all the Zambian people who are in hospitals, in clinics, all the Zambian people who are incarcerated for various reasons. They deserve to be visited by us. They deserve. Even our Holy Father here, the Holy Father goes into prisons. There's a prison which is called Gemelli. It's called Gemelli. Gemelli twins in Italian. There is the biggest prison in Rome, which is called Gemelli, and the Holy Father goes to the prison to go and pray with the incarcerated. He goes into prison to go and visit the people who are incarcerated, regardless of them belonging to any religion, culture, anything. But it's humanity, it's empathy. So that's why I am sad again. But that said, I would say that, you see, we have to look, God is speaking. God speaks through the people. God has spoken through the sadness of the people who have expressed. Since you started your program, Mr. Emmanuel Mwamba, I've heard almost the same voice from the people, apart from one gentleman who called from I don't know, from Monze or something like that. But apart from that gentleman, most of them, they have expressed sadness. It's a bad day. It's the dark day for our country. That is my opinion. That said, I have to look on the other side of the coin. What is God telling us as Zambians? Again, this is my opinion. God is also showing us, probably this is a time for a technocrat. A technocrat might be a person that does not belong to a political party, and that person who can be a figure that unites all of us. Some of us who are not politicians, but we are patriotic Zambians, and we like contributing to the welfare of our country. So I think God also is trying to speak to the Zambian people. There is this gentleman, Sangwa. I hope he is going to be served. And I hope he might not be also splashed with something which I don't know. I hope. This gentleman, according to me, God is telling the Zambian people, look around. Listen to me. People are speaking, and people are speaking to the politicians. If most of them, they are going into prison, who is going to free them from prison? And imagine Sangwa is a renowned lawyer. He is a responsible citizen. He is a professional. He is a respected gentleman. Why can't we start reflecting seriously as Zambians and ask God's wisdom if He is indicating to us something which is before us? This has nothing to do with politics. This has something to do with the questions that Zambians are posing, what is happening in our country, and before us, according to me, God is also showing us the response and the solution. Thank you very much, Honorable Emmanuel Mwamba, and keep up your program. You are doing a great service. We feel very free to come and interact and to speak on your platform. Continue this. God will bless you. God will compensate you. You are speaking for millions and millions of Zambians. Silence is loud. In our country, the silence, Mr. Mwamba, is very loud. Ukuli na matu ya kumfa, naumfwe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. That was Father Oscar Mwanza Pomboy was our last caller.
The notebook.
You can be this side.
Okay.
And now all of us, maybe you can go just behind.
So, honorable colleagues, from 2021 through to 2026, those who know their rights and their freedom and are patriotic, not only by rhetoric, but at heart, they will commit, just like we have collectively committed, to fight for democracy, fight for the well-being of every Zambian. And the journey towards achieving freedom and victory is punctuated with detours like this, especially when institutions of government are threatened by those who are alien to follow the rule of law. I am privileged today to go into prison for speaking for the Zambian people, alleged to have, defamed the president, even when the law has been repealed. We will continue to speak, even in detention. The challenge remains with those of you who have a bit of freedom, because those of us who are going in prison, we are not different from those of you outside, because you are gagged just like we are going to be detained and cannot speak. It's up to you to summon courage and continue to fight for Mother Zambia. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we have a very lucky last caller. I saw that she had been, or he has been calling. Caller, please tell us your name and your where you're calling us from, and make your contribution. You're our last caller.
Okay, thank you. I'll remain anonymous if that's okay.
That's okay.
Okay, so the thing I wanted to add my voice to is that I think it's clear from the things that we've been seeing going around the country is that the person that we have in leadership unfortunately lacks integrity, he is dishonest, and he's not fit to run our country anymore. For the last few years he's been in power, he hasn't delivered on his promises, particularly the electricity crisis. He has failed to resolve that, and therefore businesses are struggling. Some have had to close down. And I would pose a question to Zambians who have suffered these consequences of a failure in resolving the electricity crisis. Are you happy? Do you want a repeat of the same? Because to vote him in, you're going to have a repeat of the same. And in terms of dishonesty and lies, I mean, if you recall, there was that famous line of when we're sworn in, I don't know if it's 10 o'clock, we're sworn in, by 2 o'clock, the kwacha would have appreciated against the dollar. Is that a reality? I don't think so. Fuel prices, what do you think? Are you guys happy? Are we enjoying? Is the cost of living, are we satisfied with that? Perhaps we shouldn't vote this person in. And one other thing I wanted to say is let us not speak from a place of defeat. I know there's a lot going on. There's voices who've been speaking up, who've been courageous and fighting for us and speaking boldly that are being locked up. So essentially, dissenting voices are being silenced. But let's not speak from a position of defeat. Let's tap into some of the courage that these people have had, and we need to fight for our country. We have to take our country back. We cannot be going backwards. We're much more divided than we were before, and all of this has happened since this president came into power. So he has to go. We can't have silencing of dissenting voices. We can't have someone calling for reconciliation at a day of national prayer and fasting, which he previously called a useless day of prayer. So the two do not agree. And for me, this looks like something that he was advised to attend, because if he previously thought of it as a useless day of prayer, what has changed this time? that he had to attend it. It's just for optics. It's one political move. He's probably been told you're like 20% on the ground. So perhaps those people that you offended when you spoke against the National Day of Prayer maybe just attend it. It just doesn't add up. It all looks like little steps that he's taking to try and convince people to vote for him. But you've had a taste of his leadership, and it's unpalatable. We're divided. We're not happy as Zambia. So it's time to get rid of him. So I say, band together, speak from a position of power and not defeat. And remember who you are. You have voted out previous regimes whom you were dissatisfied with. The current leadership is no exception. So if you don't deliver, Zambians vote you out. And it is as simple as that. So Zambians, remember who you are. Get rid of him. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was our last caller, our very last caller. And colleagues, thank you for joining us. Thank you for I'd like to thank you all for joining us and for all the callers that make this program what it is. Today we're discussing the persecution of former leaders and just how the president has sunk our democracy, has sunk the rule of law, and how he has hijacked institutions of democracy, institutions that are supposed to be autonomous and independent, such as the judiciary, parliament, the Electoral Commission of Zambia, and how he has weaponized law enforcement agencies against his political opponents. Until next time, God bless you. Shalom, shalom.
Amitapendwa ya vintu ifisume vyoza kula kuibukisha Tana depochimo Wimbo wa temenu wa katongi Awazunga wajita katongi na kula kuibukisha kateka Kaibuku muna kapona Nese koshove pameso Yangu ama umebaya Kiyaba Kiyaba ume Kiyaba ume Kiyaba ume Kateka wabantu Twakulila lelo twakulila Shika kukonke milimo shove Ale filamba Fiena minta pengo sile Deti kume mo pula dolole avale Lilo mwingi
Ise kwa wengi mwakwete Ise kwa wengi mwakwete Mwaya Mwende wino tata wesu
Katushi muchi wakege Wali bomba kale Lomba mwatu jatuleli lake Mumba Ibisebo wapagiri obuyingi okuchinja olusago kumoneko busaka mama kutituwala basiyani chakwa katuse